Are you a photographer, videographer, filmmaker, YouTuber, Instagrammer, Snapchatter? Well, I guess that last one doesn't really apply. Anyways, if you're any of those things, my name is Josh Winiarski, and today we're going to be talking about why I bought a Canon 80D in 2018. So if you're into creating content with a camera and you're considering the 80D even just a little bit, stay tuned because we're going to talk about what made me decide to purchase this camera over all the other cameras on the market. I've been using this camera for a little over a month now, and I plan on continuing to use it for the foreseeable future. Now, I personally wish I'd found a video like this when I was picking out a new camera, so I'm going to try and help you out by being as truthful and unbiased as possible, although keep in mind, out of all the cameras I was considering, this is the only one I own, and I'm happy with it. But I'm going to try and be fair, and I'll talk about the pros and cons of all the cameras in this price range. Also, I haven't really promoted this much, but my Instagram is now linked to my YouTube, so if you want to see what I'm up to or just check out some of the photos I've taken, yeah, check that out. First, we're talking budget. Everybody's got one, nobody wants one, but it's a really important factor when you're deciding on buying a camera. Now, it's going to be different for everybody, but personally, my budget was about $1,500. That's what I could afford to spend on my new setup, which was going to include a microphone, a camera, and maybe a lens or tripod, but mainly I just wanted to focus on the camera. So knowing this, I couldn't spend the full budget on just the camera body. There's stuff out there like the 6D Mark II, which is about $1,600, which would have been just over budget and would have been a better camera, but I had other things I wanted to buy, so that was just, no, not gonna work. And honestly, I didn't really want to spend more than $1,000 on a camera, just because I really didn't think I needed anything that gnarly yet. Now, admittedly, full disclosure, I was already a Canon shooter. Here's my last camera, Rebel T6, very, very basic DSLR, but I really enjoyed that camera, and it was enough to make me look at Canon first. So the first cameras I looked at were the Canon 77D and the T7i. Very similar cameras, you can't really go wrong with either one, and they're around $650, $700 at this time. Now both are very, very solid cameras. They could do just about everything I wanted, but they were under budget. When I have a $1,500 budget, I feel like spending $650 on the body wasn't the best investment. I wanted something that's going to last me a little bit longer than that. So I naturally just, upped my price for a bit, and the Canon 80D body sits at exactly $1,000, which was spendy, but I decided to take a look. Now something really important I want to say is that for the extra $350, you really aren't getting a lot. The major improvements really only consist of a better viewfinder. You get one more frame per second burst shooting. You do get a weather sealed body, and maybe the biggest one for me at least was the longer battery life, which is kind of a cool thing. Now technically it also has a faster max shutter speed and potentially a little bit better low light, but those weren't huge things, and the low light is very debatable and a very slight difference, if any, from what I've read. So to be totally honest, I don't think the 80D is really worth the extra money over something like the 77D. They're very similar cameras, and the 80D you're spending 50% more money and just barely improving in a lot of things. The 77D or the T7i are undoubtedly a better bang for your buck. But the reason I bought the 80D isn't because it was the best value, it's because I had the budget, it was within budget, and in my mind it was looking like the best camera I could get for my budget. And that's what I wanted. But let's say your budget is $1,000 and you're trying to do something similar. Do not spend it all on the 80D body, no! Buy a 77D and then you've got $350. If you want to buy a Rode video mic Go, if you want to buy a tripod, if you want to buy a lens, you could get all that with your camera and have a really solid setup. Now calm down there, Sony users, because I can hear your heavy breathing from here. I didn't forget about you. Now I consume almost all of my content on YouTube. Watch it more than Netflix, I watch it more than cable TV. Is that still a thing? And it's no big secret that everyone and their mothers, grandmothers, dogs, cousins, literally everybody on YouTube who does video is jumping ship from Canon to Sony. Like everyone, their hamster, their annoying neighbor, like everybody. Like it's actually scary buying a Canon camera because it seems like everyone's just going to Sony. Now, is this true? I don't know, but it feels that way. So naturally I looked at the similarly priced Sony a6300 and the specs literally just blew me away. Like on paper, there's no reason to buy the Canon over the Sony right now, at least in terms of video, but also a lot of the features in photo. I mean, the thing is lighter and smaller than the Canon, it shoots 4K, it's got 1080 at 120, well, the Canon only has 1080 at 60, it's got a higher burst rate for photo, it's got better low light. Like, if you just look at a side by side, it really looks like the Sony is just better in every way. And believe me, I wanted that 4K so bad. I wanted that 1080, 120 FPS, buttery smooth B-roll so bad. But then I just stopped and asked myself, do I need it? Can I function? Can I make the same content I'm making now without it? Not even that, can I make better content than I'm making now, because I was using a kind of cheap camera before this, without it? And the answer was yes. I didn't really need either of those features, nor did I really care about them. Then I started to ask myself, why am I even upgrading cameras? Like, the ones I'm using work, right? So I had to decide, what was I looking for in a camera? I was just looking for better, sharper video quality. Didn't have to be 4K, I just wanted it better than my $100 point and shoot I was filming with before. I definitely wanted 60 FPS, would have loved 1080, but to be honest, I don't slow down a ton of footage in my videos, so I knew 60 would work for me. Something I actually really wanted was a flip LCD screen. I really wanted to be able to see myself while vlogging and help frame shots when I'm filming like I am now. I also wanted better battery life, I wanted a mic input, but overall I just wanted good quality. You know, it didn't have to be the best quality, I just wanted something better than like a smartphone or point and shoot, something noticeably better than that, and something that could separate me from, like, you know, your entry-level YouTuber. I just wanted a good, super reliable, functional camera. I didn't want to have to carry 3 batteries like I do with my point and shoot. I didn't want to have to worry about it getting wet because I spend 9 months out of the year in Seattle. And hey, notice I haven't even brought up the arguments about Canon's dual pixel autofocus and color science because I'd never used them, so I was kind of like, you know, I'm sure Sony's works fine. So that honestly wasn't a huge part of the equation, although having my shots always in focus sounded like a good thing. Which reminds me that Sony didn't have a touchscreen for focusing, and there were also issues of overheating. Now, I don't know how prevalent this is. You know, some people online say no issues, some people say lots of issues. All I know is it's a thing, and that scares me. At least for me right now, like, there's nothing worse than missing a shot or thinking you have a shot and then getting back to the computer and not having it. You know, no flip screen, you know, maybe the camera overheats. Like, that's a recipe for missing shots. Now, in my honest opinion, the Sony is going to give you a better quality image. Like, the Sony just takes better video, it just does. It does 4K, it does 1080 at 120 frames per second. Like, the Canon can't do that. It's not going to look as good. Now, photography has been a little bit neglected in this video, but both of them are going to take much better images than my T6, so I wasn't really too worried. They were both going to be a big upgrade for me in that regard. Whew! There's still a lot more to discuss, but I just want to leave you with this. The Canon 80D had the more reliable autofocus. It had the longer battery life, a more weather-resistant body, arguably a more durable body, no reports of overheating, a flip LCD screen so you can see yourself, you can get all the composition, you don't ruin a shot, you're not guessing to see if something's in frame. It's like a total workhorse of a camera, and to me, there's nothing worse than missing shots, and actually, that's not true. The only thing worse than missing shots is not realizing you missed them, getting back to your computer and being like, oh, would you look at that, I'm missing shots. So now reflecting on my purchase now, I've been using this a lot. I took it on a 3-day mountain climbing adventure. I've made videos, I've taken lots of photos, and I don't really have any regrets. However, if you need 4K, if you need that 1080, 120 buttery smooth frame rate, if you want a lighter, smaller camera, if you want potentially better low light, then honestly, like, screw the 80D, you know, prioritize what you prioritize. What do you want in a camera? If you've been listening to me right now and you're like, the Sony's pros totally outweigh the Canon 80Ds, then go get a Sony. Now, sorry for turning this into a Canon versus Sony video. You know, I looked at Nikon, I looked at a few others. and these were just the two big competitors that looked good to me, and I feel like that's what a lot of people are looking at, so hopefully that helped you out. In conclusion, I think the Canon 80D is a little overpriced at $1,000. I mean, it honestly just barely checks a lot of the boxes. Like, it's just barely squeaking by in like what I need in a camera. But the thing is, it does check those boxes. You know, it's got that long battery life, so I can just grab my camera and I don't have to worry about it being dead, even if I haven't touched it in a few days or even if I forgot to charge it. Like, it's always got juice. It's got that weather resistant body. It's got that flip screen, so I know I'm recording right now. I can see myself right now. I'm just confident. It's got the dual pixel autofocus. Look at it. It's locked onto my face. I know I'm gonna be in focus. It's that confidence that I just love. I know I'm not missing a shot. And while the quality isn't perfect, in fact, it's like good. It's not great, it's not spectacular, but it's good, it's dependable, and like, you can look at the quality now, see for yourself if you like it, but it's good enough for me and YouTube. Photography wise, it's good enough to freeze action shots, it's good enough to take portraits, landscapes. It shoots at 7 frames per second, which is fast enough to, you know, get those sweet shots. And if I'm gonna be totally honest, like, this camera is so close to just blowing everything else out of the water. Think of it this way, if the 90D has like very similar features all across the board, but then it gets like 4K and even at like 24 or 30 frames, if it got 1080 at 120, like, I honestly think this would just blow all the other cameras out of the water. Because like the way it's built, that flip screen, that big battery, like, it's really good. It just, the video quality is just not incredible. But like, look at it now. If this is good enough for you, if this is gonna cut it for you, then you might want to consider this camera. No, cross that, definitely consider this camera. But anyways, I really hope this video helped you out. You know, I expect it to start some arguments, maybe some conversations, and I want to get involved in them. What cameras are you looking at? What camera do you own? Why does it work so well for you? Let's start like a big old forum looking thing in the comment section down below. Anyways, hopefully this video helped you out. Let me know what camera you're rocking in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, like it. If you have any questions, have any comments, want to get involved, hit up that comment section down below. My name is Josh Winiarski. Check me out on Instagram if you want to see some of the pictures I've been taking with this camera, or just further support me in the content I'm creating. And if you want to see more videos on filmmaking, photography, vlogging adventures, consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.